I just wanted to make a short video going over the instructions for the assignment from yesterday's lesson that was on self-reliance and into the wild. I figured I'd make a video because the instructions kind of look like a giant wall of text, and maybe hearing me explain it can help you understand it a little bit better. So for this assignment, you'll find everything you need for it already attached onto the Google Classroom. It's going to be broken up into two main parts, right? Um, so for part one, you're going to answer the following questions in 3 to 4 sentences. The first one is, what associations do you make with the term self-reliance? And the second one is, how does self-reliance differ from selfishness, right? Um, Everything is already set up here for you to answer. You'll find this Google link to the Google Doc attached. So you just click on that and it'll make you your own copy. And you're just going to type in the answers right up here. All right, so here's the first question, the first two questions that you're going to answer in 2 to 3 sentences. Right. Second, so the second section of part one, there's going to be a video linked. Well, there is one. It's right here. It's called Ralph Waldo Emerson and the Psychology of Self-Reliance. It's about 5 minutes long. After watching that video, you're going to respond to each one of these questions. So it's going to be, what are some things that stood out to you? Respond here. Pick at least one thing that you agreed or disagreed with. Write why you either agreed or disagreed with the point you chose. And then, did your understanding of self-reliance change after watching the video? Why or why not? So all of your responses are going to go in here, and that constitutes all of part one. For part two, you're going to answer this question. It's on the same document, but so as far as I know, we've all been reading Into the Wild. So far, you should have read chapters 1 through 5. And so the question is, where we're at right now, is Chris McCandless self-reliant or selfish? Right? And for that, you're going to need at least 2 pieces of direct evidence that support your analysis of Chris McCandless, right? These pieces of evidence can either come from the book itself, you can take some quotes from the video, or any other source you feel is appropriate and ties in. What I mean by that is, I know we've had assignments on, I believe, Ernest Hemingway and Ralph Waldo Emerson before. And if as you're writing this, anything comes to mind that you've written before, you can go ahead and use those videos or those sources to help support your claim that he's either being self-reliant or selfish. Yesterday, we also had a student ask, because you need 2 examples, let's say you can find one example where he's being self-reliant, and you can find one example where he's being selfish. You can do 1 and 1. You don't need 2 self-reliant or 2 selfish. You just need at least 2 examples of him being either or. Like I said, you can just plop your answers. Like that. Plop your answers right on here. And then as far as the things that are attached, the video you need for part 1, the link to the Google Doc where you're going to complete the assignment, the PowerPoint I used for yesterday, and then if for some reason you want to watch it, here's a recording of the Zoom lesson. That's about 50 minutes. I wouldn't recommend watching it. But again, if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment, and then try to answer it as soon as I can, or we can. Yeah, and in the PowerPoint, there's going to be instructions for the assignment. Ignore those. What's on Google Classroom are the instructions. Right? And then again, if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment and then try to get to them as soon as possible. This should be done by Friday night. Well, how about this? We'll do Saturday at noon is the due date. All right, so Saturday at noon. And yeah, talk to you later.